Welcome, everybody, to Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. This is a sequel to a game that came out on the PlayStation called Legacy of Kain Blood Omen, which was quite a bit different. It was essentially a take on Zelda, but in a much darker way, where you played a vampire. It had some, I would say, maybe some technical issues that made it a little bit difficult to play at the time and now, but it was a very adventurous game in terms of design. And that is one of the first games that Amy Hennig worked on for Crystal Dynamics. Amy Hennig went on to do Soul Reaver, which is what we're about to play. She made Jack for Naughty Dog, worked heavily with Naughty Dog on the Uncharted series, and is now making a Star Wars game for EA under Visceral Studios. So we're going to take a look back at these two Legacy of Kain games and see how they hold up, and just see some of the cool design elements that Amy Hennig put her stamp on the industry with these games. Memory cards.
Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Few know the truth. He was mortal once, as were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren. I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. I stood with Kain and my brethren at the dawn of the Empire. I have served him a millennium. Over time, we became less human and more divine. Kain would enter the state of change and emerge with a new gift. Some years after the Master, our evolution would follow, until I had the honor of surpassing my lord.
Hey, Hachi doesn't like that.
For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony.
Very, very dark intro for a PlayStation era game. And well done. And the acting,
There was only
the
one
tension,
possible outcome.
writing.
My eternal damnation. I, Raziel, was to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, to burn forever in the bowels of the Lake of the Dead. Cast him in. Tumbling, burning with white-hot fire, I plunged into the depths of the abyss. Unspeakable pain, relentless agony. Time ceased to exist. Only this torture and a deepening hatred of the hypocrisy that damned me to this hell. An eternity passed, and my torment receded, bringing me back from the precipice of madness. The descent had destroyed me, and yet I lived.
Raziel, you are worthy.
Kain was the protagonist from the first game.
I know you, Raziel. You are worthy.
What madness is this? What pitiful form is this that I have come to inhabit? Death would be a release next to this travesty.
You did not survive the abyss, Raziel. I have only spared you from total dissolution.
I would choose oblivion over this existence.
The choice is not yours.
I am destroyed.
You are reborn.
Great
The
exchange.
birth of one of Kain's abominations traps the essence of life. It is this soul that animates the corpse you lived in. And that, Raziel, is the demise of Nosgoth. There is no balance. The souls of the dead remain trapped. I cannot spin them in the wheel of fate. They cannot complete their destinies. Redeem yourself. Or if you prefer, avenge yourself. Settle your dispute with Kain. Destroy him and your brethren. Free their souls and let the wheel of fate churn again. Use your hatred to reave their souls. I can make it possible. Become my soul reaver, my angel of death.
So a really cool concept. What I was saying before was that Kain was the protagonist in the last game, the top-down looking dark Zelda type game. And at the end of that game, you're able to choose whether to damn the world or, I guess, make the world a nice, happy place. And this game assumes that Kain chose the latter, took over the world, made it a shithole for humans and great for vampires. The writing is super underrated and holds up really, really well. I love that line. What does he say? I am destroyed, you are reborn.
These gates twist space, laying a path across great spans.
So these must be the warps to the different levels. I haven't played much of this game before, just read a lot about it. Always found it very intriguing. Came out possibly nearer to the end of the PlayStation's life. Alright, we're gonna go on through, do this tutorial, check out his abilities, see some of the story. Great ambient sounds.
You are weak. You must feed.
Oh, I just need a rest.
The old hunger has left me. I have no desire for blood.
You are changed. Your bloodthirst is replaced by a deeper need. You have become a devourer of souls. To sustain your strength, you must hunt the lost spirits of the underworld and consume the souls of your enemies.
Now, originally this was going to be a steampunk game, and then it was going along so well that EA wanted Amy to turn this into the sequel to Legacy of Kain. So they had to rework a lot of the visual style to make it fit, but kept most of the same core mechanics. For a lot of PlayStation 1 era games are pretty clunky. I mean, you're using the L2 and the R2 buttons to rotate the camera rather than the right joystick. Not that that really matters. It's interesting that how that switch happened. Where before you're using your thumb to access the 4 face buttons and your index fingers to manipulate the shoulder buttons.
Your wings, though ruined, are not without purpose. Take hold of them as you leap, and they will carry you across this chasm.
Now we've come along to the standard of almost always having your right thumb on the right joystick, and then just using that index finger more as a trigger finger. So, that works for most shooters. Of course, it's a very, very natural way to control, but not every game needs to be
What
like that.
scabrous wretches are these?
Although it seems like they are.
Sua, the scavengers of the underworld. Their feral hunger has claimed countless souls, spirits who now shall never find their rest.
It's an interesting design. Let's give him a bit of a pot belly, an ass crack, 3 heads, three eyes. What am I fucking talking about? 3 heads. So this had an auto lock on and dodging, very much like if the last Legacy of Kain was a 2D Link. This feels a lot more like the 3D Link. And by Link, I mean Zelda. A bit silly looking. For such a serious game, such a cool tone.
These portals are your conduit between the spectral and material realms. With their aid, you may gather matter and will yourself to become manifest in the physical world. This is taxing, however. Your strength must first be fully restored. You require no conduit to return to this plane. You may abandon your physical body at any time.
This was a really interesting element that they added, being able to switch from this ethereal world into the physical world. And was initially an idea that when Amy Hennig suggested it, they immediately denied. They said, well, how are we going to do that? It's impossible. But they took a look at it, thought outside the box, and ended up finding a way to make it happen. And it is a very interesting effect. So we're seeing a lot more color.
Sustain your strength to prolong your manifestation in the physical world. If you fail to feed or absorb too many wounds, this fragile matter will dissolve.
Objects can be in different spots, so they can have... You can use puzzles. And use that as a puzzle-solving technique. Okay. Probably towards this gate, I would imagine. No. Why did I think that going towards a gate would be the solution? What does that say about me? Did I look for barriers? And then give up when I get to them? So he enters into that double animation of shove up against it and then throw yourself at it.
You are young yet, Raziel. You still retain many of your vampiric weaknesses. Immersion in water, while not fatal, will dissolve your physical body, forcing your return to the spirit world. Be aware that in the spectral realm, water has neither heft nor lift. It stands as thin as air.
Alright, so we're going to try and glide across this. So we took a bit of damage in there. We didn't make a sound or anything, but we can see that our little magical Riddler symbol is depleting. So I'm assuming we wouldn't see anything like that organic wood of a door in the ethereal world.
What are these creatures?
Do you not recognize them? They are the children of your brother, Duma.
Oh, family.
That's impossible. These foul, scuttling beasts could not be kin of our high blood?
Do you suppose that time stood still for you, Raziel? Much has changed since you passed from the world of men.
I knew my opponent's weaknesses, having suffered them myself. Physical wounds are fleeting. Vampire's immortal flesh begins to close as soon as it is
I'd say the
cleaved.
weaknesses might be the face
Vampires
textures.
need only fear those wounds that impale or inflame. Water scorches like acid, and fledglings are devastated by sunlight's touch. I would have to modify my tactics to suit my foes.
Fledglings are like teenagers, devastated by broken hearts. Alright, we're going to do a little wrestling move with each of these guys. So that stuns them for a bit. Sort of a double dragon. Fuck. You have to hold that shit. There we go. Hulkamania.
Unfettered from the flesh, a creature's soul fades swiftly into the spectral realm. Draw it in quickly, Raziel, or you will be compelled to follow.
Okay. Let's take care of this punk ass first. Give me that soul. Come on. No soul? Here he comes. Grapple. Fucking, I was absolutely holding that. Doesn't seem to be spitting out the soul to me. That's kind of a problem. That's another way we could have killed him, chucking him on those little pointy... whatever those are. It looks like an erect dog penis. Oh, something I don't really like seeing in platformers, but definitely a sign of the times.
Your physical prowess surpasses what you knew in life. Even massive obstacles can be moved effortlessly.
Effortlessly. Cool, he's like Wolverine, too. Who doesn't like Wolverine? Alright, where does this awesome block get to go? Huh. Probably put it in the water, I guess? Nope, that's not gonna work. Maybe towards this, I mean, there's a light shining down. I guess we could have thrown the vampires onto that, the fledglings. That would have been cool. Why did I dump them into water? That was like the dumbest spot I could have done with them. Especially because I don't even get their sweet souls now. Okay, puzzle. Does this hurt me? No. I'm okay with that. Just them or not. Alright, what the hell are we doing here? Maybe we can do something with this in the water. It seems like that's really the place to go. Yeah. Maybe we can hop on this and use it to get a bit more flight? Perhaps? Like this? Alright, interesting little puzzle. Oh, no, we just came from there, didn't we? No, I guess they're just very similar. Oh, hey! That I did not see. Alright. It's, I make this comment a lot about Mankind Divided not having the constant indicator telling you which way to go, and this is something a lot of these games at the time had. You don't have that. There's no mini map. It's up to your own brains, which can be a big problem sometimes, but fun too, rewarding. I mean, games have always been a puzzle and a challenge to complete, right? And as they've evolved, they've gotten easier. Not all games, but in general, yeah. Okay. So I wonder what that other space was. I feel like I'm missing out on exploring.
My God! The sanctuary of the clans reduced to ruin. Beyond these
like the
walls
quake
lay
symbol.
the pillars of Nosgoth, the seat of Kain's empire. How humble it now appeared, collapsing into the dust of its former magnificence. And yet, I had only just emerged. In the instant between my execution and resurrection, centuries had apparently passed.
This world is wrecked with cataclysms. The earth strains to shrug off the pestilence of Kain's parasitic empire. The fate of this world was preordained in an instant by a solitary man. Unwilling to martyr himself to restore Nosgoth's balance, Kain condemned the world to the decay you see. In that moment, the unraveling began. Now it is nearly played out. Nosgoth teeters on the brink of collapse. Its fragile balance cannot hold.
All right. Post-apocalyptic vampire world. Not so decadent anymore. Oh, look, they have their little fires like they're homeless guys hanging out in a Deus Ex game. Hey. All right. So, an interesting part about the fighting in this game is that you can't just beat people down. You have to find a way to kill them. You have to find some sort of weakness. Oh no, let me do the fire dance. I'll boogie down. It's a real dance macabre. Macabre. The dance macabre. The dance of the dead. Hey, you buddy. So the dodging and attacking mechanic is very, very fun. Sometimes it can be hard to get melee combat correct, especially in the older games. So you only have a certain amount of time to get over to this fucking fire. Ah. Well, you come to me then. How about that? I'll bring you to the fire. Come on, buddy. Yeah, that's right. What if would he run into this fire? Would you lunge into it? Probably not. You're gonna smell like campfire. Alright. I think it has sort of a lock on as you toss them. They just get sucked into the fire, which is really handy. Suck it in, baby. Bit of slowdown in the game. Not really affecting my enjoyment. It's kind of a plodding game. Just tend to do one thing at a time, feels like. I'm getting really, really disoriented as to where I came from. I'm not like Jenny from the block. She knows where she came from.
The doors of the sanctuary were immovable, either barred from the inside or rusted shut. I would need to find another means of entry.
Okay. Do you ever get overwhelmed when there's too many options of where to come through? Maybe I'm supposed to go to the ethereal world. Or, Well, I guess we can just come back. Just go where we started. So did we come down here and walked up? That's probably what happened, yeah. So we need to go to the side. Or is this where we came from? Yeah, it was that door, remember? Alright. Oh, very dynamic music. You know you're going the right way when you see an enemy. Sneak on up. Sneak. Try not to breathe. Death blow. I want to do a death blow. Alright, where are we going to take this punk ass? You come to me, my friend. Your destiny awaits. These enemies are not too fast. I'm assuming later on they'll probably get real fast, zombie dog style. Oh shit, too many of them. 2 is too many. Oh, how do I fucking finish him off? I need the death blow. If there's not something you can chuck them into. What's this shit? Ooh, secret door. I wanted to try going to the ethereal world, and then maybe that would give us access into the castle, but I think you need to find another area to come back to this physical world. So shit, here we go. This is the warp point. Uh-huh. Ugh. Right. Remember what all these things are. Uh-huh. And then what? I jump into it like Mario? That didn't really do much, did it? Okay, let's try that. Ow! Sure, let's try that one. Oh, and then it always just goes back. Yeah, I want that one with the creepy red and green face. Yeah. Here I go. What's going on? What the fuck happened? Oh shit, I think we're in creepy land. Alright, well that's gonna do it for this fast look. This checkout. This let's try of Amy Hennig's Soul Reaver. Stay tuned. We're going to be putting up a video of her first game, Legacy of Kain Blood Omen. Now, just to give you some context, this is Blood Omen Legacy of Kain that came up before it. Top-down, hack and slash Zelda game. Very, very evil Zelda. A lot of raiding tombs that become kind of like the dungeons. Going around murdering people. You start off the game as just a normal human. People will kill you. Your first battle you get into, you die. And then you emerge as this vampire. So you go and you see people sleeping, and you suck their blood. One of the concepts they carried over from this game into Soul Reaver was that you stagger your enemies. So you hit them a couple times, and then if you avoid landing the death blow, then you can suck their blood and get their health back. It's amazing how far the technology came going. This is 1996. I mean, a lot of the textures and stuff look like a 16-bit game. There's an enemy. There, you stagger them and you can suck them down. Suck them off. And then to put out Soul Reaver in 1999, that's 3 years of time. However, same platform, both on the PlayStation 1.
The necromancer had offered me no warning as to what my resurrection would entail, and yet I must confess in my haste I had not sought one. Was his gift a curse? I would seek the pillars for an answer.
An interesting game. A lot of loading times to get through. Yep, that's cool. Uh-huh. The combat is a little bit funny because there's not really like a lot of dodging you do. You're more sort of setting up timing with it. But a very, very ambitious game. This is what it looks like close up. Yeah, you just sort of find your range and hack away at guys. That's about it. There are spells and different things introduced into the game, so there's lots of room to grow there. It's sort of like a gauntlet style, I guess kind of D&D. A lot of dungeon crawling. There are a lot of really, really great ideas here. I think this was, I don't know if Amy Hennig totally designed this game, or if this is, she was sort of the lead in the design department, which meant she wasn't personally working on just one game, more like all the games would have to go through her, and this is the first one that they threw at her and said, all right, take a look at this, see what you can do with this game. What can you do to really pull this game together? And hey, I mean, a really dark Zelda is, that sounds fun, doesn't it? And, you know, as much as, like, this game is old and clunky, it's a lot
As daylight chases darkness, the vampire's power wanes.
Okay, so now it's almost daytime, so I'd imagine I need to get the hell out of here. What I was going to say is that it's like a page turner. You want to just keep going with it and seeing what's next. It's a very oddly fascinating game.
Nopraptor, your madness has shattered our dreams and blinded you.
Keep your distance, or I'll send you back to hell, spirit!
There is nothing left of me to fear, vampire. I'm only a shadow of my former self, Ari, the balance of the Circle of Nine. Even so, I can provide the answers you seek.
I seek only a cure.
There is no cure for death, only release. You must destroy the sorcery that is now poisoning Nosgoth. Only then will you realize peace. The 9 of the Protectors of Hope were sworn to use their powers to preserve our world. Now these pillars have been corrupted by a traitor. My murder at the hands of this beast drove my love Nopraptor mad. Now he spreads misery and pain among the Circle, crumbling the very foundation of Nosgoth. You must restore balance. You must right the pillars of Nosgoth.
I care not for the fate of this world.
Then for yourself, Kain. Beware the unspoken.
So as you can see, lots of dark themes. Eyes getting sewn shut, half of her face being a skull. What it lacked.
Nopraptor, with his blind act of vengeance, threatened to destroy all of Nosgoth. Each Circle member was bonded to the pillar he served. The pillars reflected the mental state of their servants, and as the minds of the Circle degenerated and descended farther into dementia, the pillars crumbled. To restore them, each member of the Circle had to die, and the artifact that served as their link to the pillar had to be returned. Only when all the pillars were restored did Ariel claim my curse would end. And so, my hunt for Nopraptor began. The Pillar of Balance.
Okay, bunch of pillars, take them out. So there you go. There is how far a game in a series can progress on the same console in just 3 years. I mean, we've seen other great progressions. I mean, look at Mario 1 to Mario 3, pretty amazing as well. But that is it on this. If you'd like to see a full episode on this game, just drop a comment on the video. I'd be glad to do it, but you do have to ask.
The Pillar of Energy.
Because I need your energy in this pillar. Bye for now.
Ve Victus! Ve Victus!